actually pinpoint a few specific things. And it's not complicated. I don't even think it's contentious. I don't think it's debatable. I think it's very clear and very obvious what happened. And starting with number one, the number one thing which accounted for all this success this year. Why did the show blow up so much this year? The number one thing, which nobody will even mention, and nobody has mentioned, is that this is the first year that they simply stopped censoring me. That's it. It's that simple. Because for those that don't know me or don't know a lot about me, you might have heard, for many years, I was the most censored, canceled person in the country. And I don't say that to make myself a victim. I don't say that to be a martyr. It is just a fact that for years, I was completely censored, completely blacklisted, blackballed, and everything that that entails. And that went into overdrive in 2021 after January 6th. In 2021, I was banned on everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, DLive, Twitter, TikTok. I was banned on every major social platform, but I was doubly banned because I was also banned from appearing on anybody else's show.
Oh, wow.
So if I went on Sneako's show, or if I went on Fresh and Fit, or if I went on any other show, YouTube would delete that show also. If I went on someone else's TikTok, or if I was on someone else's Instagram account, they were also banned. And it was like this for 4 years. So go figure. Why did I not gain a lot of traction in 21, 22, 23, 24? Because I literally didn't have a platform. I was banned from everything. The only platform that I could even live stream my show on was a platform that I made myself. Because that was the only streaming platform I was allowed on. It was called Cozy TV. I had been banned from YouTube, DLive, Trovo, things you had never even heard of. And what happened this year is there were a few specific decisions that were made. Number one, I was unbanned on Twitter last May. So this is the first full year that I have been allowed on Twitter since 2021. That's one. Two, I was allowed on Rumble. And all of a sudden, I got a check mark on Rumble. I was allowed to stream on Rumble. I, just in the past couple of months, was allowed to get super chats on Rumble. I was allowed to stream on a major platform. Three, and this is maybe the biggest one, Instagram stopped deleting my clips. And this is something that we noticed. This is like a switch was flipped, I think in like January. All of a sudden, you were able to post my clips on Instagram without being banned. And they were able to get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views. That was never the case. It used to be the case that if you posted any clip from my show, your whole channel would get deleted. Wow. All of a sudden, starting this year, you're able to post the clip without it getting taken down. And then the last thing that happened, kind of like the last shoe to drop, was around May of this year, I was able to start appearing as a guest on YouTube. This is something else where even in 2024, Candace Owens wouldn't bring me on her show because she was worried that if I was even a guest, that the whole YouTube channel would get deleted. And in May, for the first time, I think I did the Hodge twins, and then I did the Social Hour with Sean. All of a sudden, again, I was on a YouTube show, and the YouTube channel was not banned. The video was not taken down. I don't know if it was even demonetized. But I did those two shows. They weren't taken down. And that reflected a decision that was made at YouTube that they were no longer going to censor me from being on shows. And so I think that changes the perspective on where I came from this year and what all happened, because a lot of people said, oh, it's things that are happening this year. It's because everybody got really hateful. It's because of this, that, or the other. No, it is because for 10 years, we did not have a level playing field at all.
Wow.
And think about this. Think about it. For 10 years, it was a completely gate-kept, closed system. And by that, I mean the conservative politics, the conservative political media ecosystem. It was an oligopoly. It was a closed system. There were a handful of personalities and companies that were chosen, they were selected, and they were immune from censorship and shadow banning and all of it. And it was people like Charlie Kirk at Turning Point. It was Ben Shapiro at Daily Wire. It was Prager University. It's all these familiar people. Everybody else got banned, going back even further, going back to like 2016.
Wow.
People like Gavin McInnes, Alex Jones, they were unpersoned. They were banned from everything. They were gone. They never stood a chance. People like Sam Hyde lost his TV show, then got banned on everything. It was impossible to compete because we could not take, and I include myself in that also, we could not bring our product to the marketplace. If the product is the content or the show, we were not able even to play in the same ballpark. We weren't even able to play in the league. And so for the same amount of time that these other groups were the number 2 ad buyer on Facebook, they were number 1 podcast for conservatives on YouTube. They had a deal with TikTok in the 2024 election to get their content amplified and promoted. Whereas they were being promoted and steadily accumulating and growing and building, making a living, building a subscriber base, building an audience. All the rest of us were out there dying, losing momentum, losing subscribers, losing money because we were banned. And it's not a coincidence that this is the first year that everything opened up. And then all of a sudden, guess what becomes popular? Lo and behold, after 10 years of censorship, blacklisting, cancel culture, all of that, finally, it starts to recede a little bit. Finally, they start to open it up. And all of a sudden, the number 1 shows, it's like Tucker, Candace, Nick Fuentes. Surprise, surprise. When you stop censoring the conversation, people have an appetite for white identity, criticism of Jews in Israel, criticism of feminism. Guys like Andrew Tate become the most famous people in the world. So that's number one. Where did the generational come from? Well, they stopped suppressing me for a short amount of time. For roughly half of this year, I had no obstacles on that front, and I became massive. Number two, and this is the other thing that nobody ever talks about. Where did the generational run come from? Number two. Again, a lot of people say, well, he's expressing a popular discontent, but